If you live in an area susceptible to heavy rainfall, you'll understand that flooding can be a serious problem. Some of us are sometimes unlucky enough to find ourselves trapped in flooding situations while driving, and this can become a serious problem if you're unfamiliar with such a situation. Obviously, if you find yourself facing a flooded road while driving, you should consider finding alternative routes if possible. Even if it may take you an extra hour or two, avoiding driving through a body of water can spare your car plenty of internal damage and repair costs. Image, Spectrum News. But if you absolutely need to make it across and have no other options left, make sure you pay close attention to the next steps to avoid causing your vehicle as much problems as possible. 1. Assess the situation. The very first thing you want to do in a flood is to gauge whether or not it's possible at all to even drive through the area. You should start with looking at whether other cars are able to pass through the flooded zone and see just how high the water reaches before making a Those driving vehicles with high clearances, like pickup trucks or SUVs, should typically have an easier time getting through a flooded area, but the maximum depth you should drive through, according to experts, is no more than 10 centimeters for most cars with regular clearance heights. Many modern cars are watertight and can even start floating in water depths as high as 30 centimeters. Image, Drive Spark. Also, do avoid fast-flowing water if you can, and don't try to brave driving through a flooded area that will take you too long to pass through. For those unfamiliar with flood situations, the water levels can rise dramatically in a short time, and it'll often be worth it to avoid getting trapped in floodwater altogether, especially when there's a current. Here are a few things you should note about floodwater. 1. Just 15 centimeters of fast-flowing water can knock a person off their feet. 2. It's a challenge for most people to stand in waist-deep water flowing at 1 meter per second. In waist-deep water flowing at 1.8 meters per second, nearly everyone is swept off their feet. 3. Should the speed of floodwater double, the force it exerts on your vehicle quadruples. 4. Just 30 centimeters of flowing water is enough to start moving your vehicle. 60 centimeters of flowing water will float smaller to medium-sized cars on. 5. Always assume that all floodwater is contaminated, especially in urban settings. 2. Switch off the air conditioning. Once in water, you should make sure to turn off your car's air conditioning so you prevent too much damage from being inflicted on the fan sitting in your car's engine compartment. 3. Keep your vehicle moving at all times. Whatever you do while driving through a flood, don't stop. Stopping your car while in deep water will allow water to enter the exhaust and do some serious damage internally. Also, you'll want to perform as many revs as possible while driving through, so it's recommended that you engage the lowest gear possible while performing this tricky scenario. This also means that before entering the flooded area with your vehicle, you should survey the scenario and determine that you'll have enough room to drive without having to stop at all. If there are cars in front trying to attempt driving through a flood, let them move on ahead, and give yourself ample space to start before you follow after them. If at all possible, allow the cars in front to completely clear the flooded area before you make your own attempt. 4. Don't drive too fast, either. While you'll want to keep moving, you should also go at a moderate speed, approximately 10 kilometers per hour, so you keep your tires in contact with the road below. If somehow you lose grip, do not brake. Remember, you're not supposed to stop at all. Instead, just remove your foot from the acceleration pedal, keep your steering wheel straight and steady, and allow your vehicle to regain its grip on the road before continuing. 5. Test your brakes after. If you've successfully cleared the flood, the next thing you'll want to do is to check that your brakes are fine. In a safe area and going slowly, gently tap on your brakes to make sure they work before driving on at normal speed. You don't want to drive without fully functional brakes. 6. Do not start a stalled, stranded vehicle. If your vehicle unfortunately stalls while in floodwater, do not attempt to restart your engine immediately. Doing this will only cause more damage to your engine by letting water in. At this point, you should just leave your vehicle be and resort to asking for help from a mechanic once the water recedes. Sure, it's unfortunate, but avoiding the temptation to immediately restart your vehicle after it's been in water can save you quite a bit of a headache in the end. Image, Car from Japan. 7. Have your vehicle checked right away. After going through floodwater, you'll want to have your car sent to a workshop to check on the internals and ensure that your engine and petrol tank have not been overly flooded. You'll also want to dry out the electrical components of your car if possible. Remember, stay calm. One important rule to remember in situations such as these is to never give in to panic. Sudden changes in the situation or loss of control can cause anyone to make mistakes without thinking things through. In any case, remember that your life and the lives of those with you comes first, and that you should always choose the option that poses the least danger to your well-being. If that means needing to abandon your vehicle in favor of getting yourself to safety, so be it. Read more life stories. 14 initiatives you can support to help flood victims in Malaysia. AirAsia named Best Low-Cost Carrier in Asia 5th year in a row. Cover image sourced from News Straits Times and National World.